Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. So we offer our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas present here on site and online. And on behalf of the Vrindavan Institute for Higher Education, we welcome you to our annual celebration of the disappearance of Srila Rupa Goswami, which is in general a celebration in honor of Srila Rupa Goswami. His date of birth is not known to the world, and therefore we remember him once a year in terms of his manifestation in this world. So we will be spending several days. We started yesterday meditating on the life of Srila Rupa Goswami, who was very, very dear to Srila Prabhupada. So without any further introduction, I would like to welcome our first speaker, whom we are very, very happy to have with us, and I want to express my gratitude to him for being here. And this is none other than His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj. He is speaking to us from his base in Belgaum. If you could please put him on the screen in the hall so we can take his darshan. Are you hearing us, Maharaj?
Yes.
Yes. So please enlighten us. Maharaj will speak on the glories of Srila Rupa Goswami.
Thank you. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, thank you very much, Prashanta Mataji, for the introduction and for inviting me to speak on Srila Rupa Goswami and for organizing this unique festival on the glories of Srila Rupa Goswami. We have heard of many types of utsavs, including Shravanotsav, etc., but the first time I'm hearing about Rupotsav, which is really nice. It's a good opportunity to speak about and hear about and meditate on the glories of Srila Rupa Goswami. I believe this is the first talk in the series, and other speakers will be also speaking on topics connected to Rupa Goswami in the days ahead. So I can perhaps just set the foundation or to give a background and then other devotees in the days to come can elaborate further and discuss many pastimes of Srila Rupa Goswami. We all know that Srila Rupa Goswami is considered the chief amongst the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. We are the followers of the 6 Goswamis. It is because of the 6 Goswamis that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his teachings become available to us. Even Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, has acknowledged his great debt to the 6 Goswamis, in particular to Srila Sanatan Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami, and also to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. In the Adi Leela, the 5th chapter, Srila Kaviraj Goswami says, Sanatana Kripai Painu Bhakti Rasamrita Shri Rupa Kripai Painu Bhakta Rasa Pranta. He says that by the mercy of Sanatan Goswami, I obtained Painu Bhaktira Siddhanta. Siddhanta refers to the ultimate conclusions. So by Sanatan Goswami's mercy, I have obtained the ultimate conclusions of devotional service. This is what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says. And he goes on to say, Shri Rupa Kripai Painu Bhakti Rasa Pranta. That by the mercy of Rupa Goswami, I have obtained the ultimate limit. Pranta means the ultimate limit of Bhakti Rasa, the transcendental mellows of devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport mentions that it is because of this that Srila Rupa Goswami is referred to as the Bhakti Rasacharya, who is the Acharya of the transcendental mellows of devotional service. And we'll speak about that briefly in a few minutes. Meanwhile, I just want to pose an important question to all of you. Now, we do know that Rupa Goswami was not the eldest amongst the 6 Goswamis. Sanatan Goswami was the older brother, and Rupa Goswami considered Sanatan Goswami like a Shiksha Guru. Still, why is it that we consider Srila Rupa Goswami as the chief amongst the 6 Goswamis? This doesn't in any way minimize or diminish the glories of the other 5 Goswamis and also of the other great Vaishnavas who were their associates, but it does point out something important, that Srila Rupa Goswami was someone special. What is the reason for that? One is an obvious reason for his, not only his seniority next to Sanatan Goswami, but also his prodigious contribution to the devotional literature of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. We all have heard of his magnum opus, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Srila Prabhupada summarized as the nectar of devotion. We've heard of the Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction. We've heard of Ujjvala Neelamani, and there are many such books, and I'm sure the speakers in the days ahead will also refer more to some of these books. So one reason he's considered the chief among the 6 Goswamis is, of course, because of this contribution that he has made to the cause of Gaudiya Vaishnava transcendental literature. But there is another Leela, there is another reason rather, and that pertains to Krishna Leela. The reason that I just mentioned was in Gaur Leela, because in Gaur Leela, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami and the other Goswamis were associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they participated in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu in various ways and assisted him also in numerous ways. So, Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis and also the other Goswamis are also associates of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So, Rupa Goswami, as we all know, is Rupa Manjari. The Manjaris are the assistants of the Sakhis, the Gopis, who are in turn the assistants of Srimati Radharani, who in turn is the topmost devotee of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So, the Manjaris are a little younger in age, a couple of years younger in age than the Sakhis, and their seva is to assist the older. By older, I don't mean old, but just a couple of years older. They're still very young, but they're slightly older compared to the Manjaris. Their service is to assist them. So, who is Rupa Manjari? So, Rupa Manjari is Rupa Goswami in Krishna Leela. Rupa Manjari is Rupa Goswami in Gaur Leela. So, Rupa Manjari, she is the chief assistant or the chief Manjari of Lalita Sakhi. Lalita Sakhi is the chief amongst the Ashta Sakhis, the 8 principal assistant Sakhis of Srimati Radharani. So therefore, see the connection here, that Lalita Sakhi is the chief assistant of Radharani. She is the chief of the Ashta Sakhis, the 8 Sakhis. And Rupa Manjari is the chief assistant of Lalita Sakhi, and therefore when she comes as Rupa Goswami, then Rupa Goswami is considered the chief amongst the 6 Goswamis. The other Goswamis are also, other 5 Goswamis are also Manjaris. So anyway, this is just a small but important point for us to consider. Now, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, again, as we all know, were ministers in the government of Nawab Hussain Shah, who was the Muslim ruler of Bengal in those days. They both held very high positions. Both were from very aristocratic families. They were brothers, and their contributions were immense to the king, and they were practically indispensable, and the king couldn't do without them. So expert and intelligent were they in the execution of their responsibilities that the king became extremely dependent on them for many things. So they were living in a place called Ramakeli, which is in Bengal, and this is where actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis for the first time. Now, it is not that there had been no communication between them. Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis had written letters to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which Mahaprabhu had happily read. So Mahaprabhu was very well aware of the 2 brothers, and the 2 brothers were very devoted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even before they actually met him. They had heard about him, and they had already become his devotees, and they were in their own right great scholars of devotional service and of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Mahaprabhu wanted to visit Vrindavan from Jagannath Puri, and that is a whole pastime in itself, he had made numerous attempts to go to Vrindavan earlier, and on each occasion he had been unable to fulfill his desire. So on this occasion, when he decided to go to Vrindavan, many of his associates like Nityananda Prabhu, Srivas Thakur, Haridas Thakur, Gadadhar Pandit, etc. also accompanied him. And as he walked northwards towards Vrindavan, he happened eventually to come to a place called Ramakeli, where Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis resided. At that time, they were called Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. Even though they were born in Brahmin families, but by virtue of their long association with and service to the Nawab, they had got these Muslim names, Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. But notwithstanding their names, they were very exalted devotees of Krishna even before Mahaprabhu met them. So the pastime of them meeting is mentioned very nicely in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I'll just read from a particular section which is in the Madhya Leela, chapter 1, the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So when Mahaprabhu arrived at Ramakeli, he saw it was an extraordinarily beautiful place. And when he was performing Sankirtan there in Ramakeli Gram, he danced and sometimes lost consciousness due to experiencing intense love of Godhead. So many people came to have his darshan there. And naturally, because large numbers of people flocked to have darshan of Mahaprabhu, word spread and it reached the ears of the Muslim king, the Nawab Hussain Shah, who became somewhat astonished. And he spoke to the magistrate, who must have also been a Muslim king, a Muslim person, and who perhaps wanted to take some action against Mahaprabhu. And the king told the magistrate that, just see the influence of this prophet. He must be a prophet. He must be a great saint, because thousands upon thousands of people are following him. So don't disturb this prophet. Let him do whatever he likes. And then Nawab Hussain Shah called his assistant, whose name was Keshav Chhatri, and asked him, I'm seeing that there is this Hindu prophet who is moving around and is attracting a lot of people. So what is your opinion about him? Now Keshav Chhatri was well aware of the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he deliberately downplayed those glories because he knew that the king was unreliable. Ultimately, he was not a faithful devotee of the Lord. And today he was appreciating Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he could well have changed his mind in a few days. So Keshav Chhatri did not trust the king. So therefore he downplayed the glories of Mahaprabhu and said, don't worry too much about him. He's just an ordinary person and he's just touring different places like a mendicant, and only a few people are seeing him. In today's language we'll say, well, it's not a big deal, don't worry about that. And as far as your Muslim magistrate is concerned, please tell him that I don't think you should be very worried about him. So having said that, he actually sent a messenger to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to please leave as soon as possible, because he did not trust the king. Meanwhile, the king also inquired from Dabir Khas, later to be known as Srila Rupa Goswami, about the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Rupa Goswami did not hold back like Keshav Chhatri. Keshav Chhatri was a diplomat, so he was diplomatic, of course, for he was concerned about the well-being of Mahaprabhu. But Rupa Goswami didn't hold back, and he began to glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he said that same Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has awarded you this kingdom and whom you now accept as a prophet, has actually taken birth in your country, and it is indeed your good fortune. This prophet always desires your good fortune, And it is only by His grace that all your business, all your activities will be successful. By His blessings alone will you attain victory everywhere. So why are you questioning me, O King? Please question your mind, because you are the king of the people. And therefore you are the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Naradev. And therefore whatever your mind tells you will be your final conclusion. Now that's not something that we can follow in when we explain to people. But he was Rupa Goswami. We are not Rupa Goswami. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally present there. Rupa Goswami, by his purity and devotion, was able to infuse sufficient faith in the heart of the king. And Rupa Goswami knew that what was in the mind of the king was something very positive. So then Rupa Goswami said that whatever it was that occurred in the mind of the king should be considered evidence, pramana. Then the king said, Raja kahe shuno mora mone jai lai, sakshat ishwara iha nahika samshaya. He said, oh, listen to me. I am convinced that this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this mendicant, is indeed the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I have no doubt in my mind about this. So after hearing this, Rupa Goswami, who was then Dabir Khas, also returned to his residence. And then, after much consideration, Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik decided to go and have darshan, personal audience with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they went incognito and in the dead of night, because they did not want to go in the daytime lest they be noticed by the servants of the king. So they went secretly, and at that time they first saw Nityananda Prabhu Haridas Thakur, who then informed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that these two personalities had arrived. So when Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis approached Mahaprabhu and had his darshan for the first time, in great humility they took bunches of straw, placed them between their teeth, and bound a cloth around their own necks and fell down like rods in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now this is generally considered a sign of humility, to hold a straw between one's teeth and to fall down in Dandavat Pranam. So when they saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they became overwhelmed with joy and they began to cry tears of ecstasy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to rise and blessed them with all good fortune. And again, placing straw within their teeth, in their mouths, they offered prayers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now the kind of prayers that we see Rupa and Sanatan Goswami offering, or we see our great acharyas like Narottam Das Thakur or Bhakti Vinod Thakur offering in their songs, is something that is quite extraordinary. It's not something that we can imitate, because that kind of humility is not natural for ordinary devotees. This kind of extreme humility is possible only in a very advanced stage of Krishna consciousness. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't act humble if we are not feeling humble. Humility is a quality that not only comes naturally by performing Krishna consciousness, it also has to be developed by cultivation and by practice. And certainly Krishna will give us many opportunities that will test our humility or otherwise. So in any case, so they said, all glories to Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful Savior of the fallen souls. All glories to you, our Lord. We belong to the lowest classes of men, you know. And our associates are also people of this class. Therefore, we cannot introduce ourselves to you. We feel very, very ashamed coming in front of you. So there is no one who is more sinful than us. And even if we wanted to mention our sinful activities, we would be extremely ashamed. What to speak of giving them up? So you have incarnated in this Lord, in this world, my dear Lord, to deliver sinful living entities. But surely there is no one more sinful than us. And so we are the perfect candidates for your mercy. Even Jagai and Madhai, you know, even though they were sinful, but at least they were born in Brahmana families, they lived in the holy place of Navadvip, and they never served low-class persons. And but as far as we are concerned, you know, we are associating all day and night with sinful people and with those who are very much inclined towards cow killing, meat eating, and all of these abominable activities. So we are millions and millions of times inferior to Jagai and Madhai. Actually, we belong to the caste of meat eaters because we are servants of meat eaters. So Srila Prabhupada says that there are two kinds of meat eaters. One who actually eat meat, and the others who associate with and serve those who eat meat. So in this way, the two brothers, Sakar Malik and Dabir Khas, very humbly submitted themselves before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu was touched to see their humility. And they said, no one within the three worlds is sufficiently powerful to deliver us other than you. And you are the savior of the fallen souls, so please, we beg of you to deliver us. And if you actually deliver us, then you will become glorious by the name of Patita Pavan. That means the deliverer of fallen souls. In this way, they went on speaking in this mood by saying that we are like a dwarf who is trying to catch the moon. Sinful entities like us, whose sins know no bounds, are approaching you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for mercy. It's just like that. So in this way, they spoke heart-rending prayers in humility. Mahaprabhu's heart was so touched. He said, my dear Dabir Khas, you two brothers are my old servants. And so this is an important point. Now, this was the first time in the Prakat Leela, in the manifest pastimes, that Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis had met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu says, Tumindui bhai mora puratana dasa. You two brothers are my old servants, indicating that the relationship between the two brothers and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an eternal relationship. It is just that they have appeared in a certain form in this manifest pastime. And then he said, my dear Sakar Malik, your name now shall be Sri Sanatan. And my dear Dabir Khas, your name from today shall be Sri Rupa. So Srila Rupa Goswami, please abandon your humility, for my heart is breaking to see you so humble. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that actually this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's initiation of Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis. They approached them with all humility. The Lord accepted them as old servants and actually initiated them. So when the question arises, who were they initiated by? They were initiated directly by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is the evidence from the Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srila Prabhupada's purport as well. So then Mahaprabhu said, I have read the several letters you have written me with so much humility. I can understand your behavior from these letters. Therefore, I want you to know that I had no business coming to Ramakeli. I have only come here to deliver both of you, because nobody else could understand my intentions. And people are asking me all the time, why am I going to a place like Ramakeli? But the secret reason for my coming here is only to deliver both of you brothers. Now you don't fear anything, go back home. Birth after birth, you have been my eternal servants. I am sure that Krishna will deliver you very soon. So again, Mahaprabhu is repeating the same point, that they are eternal servants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu placed his lotus hands on the heads of both the brothers, and in return, the two brothers caught hold of the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu and placed those lotus feet on their own heads. And in this way, the Lord embraced them and requested all the devotees present there to bless them. When Mahaprabhu saw the exchanges between Rupa and Sanatana Goswami on one hand, with the other devotees like Nityananda Prabhu, Srivas Thakur, Gadadhar Pandit, Haridas Thakur and others, he became extremely pleased. And all the devotees were very glad to see the mercy that Mahaprabhu was bestowing upon these two brothers. And very loudly they began to chant, Hari, Hari. So this is the nature of Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas become very happy when they see others getting the mercy of the Lord and other Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas are never envious. They never feel bad or envious when other people progress in their Krishna consciousness or get the special mercy of the Lord. And then Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami touched the lotus feet of all those Vaishnavas who were present there, and the assembled devotees offered their congratulations and blessings and good wishes to these two brothers for having received this unparalleled mercy of the Supreme Lord. Then after begging the permission of all the Vaishnavas present, the two brothers, at the time of their departure, humbly presented something at the lotus feet of the Lord. They said, my dear Lord, kindly depart from here as soon as possible. Even though the Nawab is very favorable to you at this point in time, but who can say how his mind will be tomorrow? Please kindly depart from here as soon as possible. We are concerned about your safety and well-being. Also, our request to you is that there are thousands of people who are around you. It is not appropriate that you go to Vrindavan like this. So kindly go back to Jagannath Puri. Now this may seem a little unusual, that having asked for the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and taken such a humble position, it appears as if they're now instructing Mahaprabhu and taking a superior position. But actually, such is the dealings of the Lord with his devotees. Such is the nature of the love the devotees have for the Lord, especially when it comes to the Prakat Leela or the manifest pastimes, when the Lord acts like an ordinary human being, that out of intense concern and love for the Lord, Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami spoke like this. And incidentally, it is during this first meeting when Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis were glorifying Mahaprabhu that they chanted this verse, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurat Vishe Namaha. So this is one of the very famous verses glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is the standard verse in our Mangalacharana, invocation prayers. So this is where it comes from. It's not mentioned specifically in the Chaitanya Charitamrita here in this section, but it is mentioned elsewhere. So in any case, Mahaprabhu actually obeyed the request of Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, and he went back to Jagannath Puri. And of course, actually he didn't directly go back. He also went to Kanai Natshala. He went a little ahead, and in Kanai Natshala he had personal darshan of Sri Krishna. And then he returned to Jagannath Puri. So this is the background of the first meeting. And the second meeting happened in Prayag. That was when Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, or rather Rupa Goswami along with Anupam, had come to Prayag. They were there, and Mahaprabhu was on his way to Vrindavan. After he had returned from Ramakeli and Kanai Natshala to Jagannath Puri, after a certain period of time, Mahaprabhu again desired to visit Vrindavan. And this time he went through Jharikhanda, and he went up and eventually reached Varanasi, Prayag, and all those places. And then in Prayag, he met Rupa Goswami and Anupam. He instructed Rupa Goswami for 10 consecutive days on the science of Krishna consciousness at a place called the Dashashvamedha Ghat. Kaviraj Goswami says in the Madhya Leela, chapter 19, text 114 onwards, and this is an important section because in a few verses from now we will have the celebrated famous Rupa Shiksha verses. Rupa Shiksha is well known amongst Gaudiya Vaishnavas as the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Rupa Goswami. So Kaviraj Goswami says, Rupa Gosairi Shiksha Koran Shakti Sanchariya. So it is here that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Srila Rupa Goswami, and he infused him with devotional Shakti or energy. Shakti Sanchariya. So this is very important, that unless one is infused with the energy of the Lord, one cannot actually perform devotional service very satisfactorily. Everyone needs inspiration or encouragement or motivation or power to do any activity. When it comes to transcendental devotional service, therefore, one needs transcendental empowerment. And Rupa Goswami was directly empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just see the glories of Srila Rupa Goswami. And that empowerment happened face to face. So that is not a fortune that is available to everyone. At the same time, because of the transcendental nature of the devotional process and the parampara system, this transcendental empowerment can be made available to any sincere seeker of the absolute truth. If that person surrenders to the bona fide disciplic succession and gets shiksha and diksha from authorized persons who have themselves been trained, and one can receive that empowerment in the same way that Rupa Goswami received from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So now it is almost 11:45. I think the class was to 11:45, isn't it?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes. So we will stop here then, and the other devotees who will speak subsequently can speak on the other glories of Srila Rupa Goswami. I tried to just create a bit of a platform so that the other devotees can now glorify to their heart's content Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you very much, Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj, for starting this immersion in hearing about Srila Rupa Goswami, his pastimes, his identity in regards to his pastimes with Mahaprabhu, his identity in Golok Vrindavan, his interactions with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are already tasting the nectar of remembering this very wonderful devotee. So we are very fortunate that you have accepted to speak this year, and we hope to have you some other time again.
Thank you very much, and congratulations and good wishes for having such a festival in glorification of Srila Rupa Goswami.
Yes, we have been organizing this festival since 1999 actually.
Oh, really? Acha. Okay, that's nice.
Every year it grows in size a little bit. So
Jai, wonderful. So wish you many hours ahead of hearing the glories of Srila Rupa Goswami. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Our next speaker will also be online, speaking from